Oh, good morning. Welcome to my video.
Okay, so you want to tear down capitalism, and you also have a couple of friends that will help you get started. You don't? Well, after this video, watch my previous one. Well, I'm sorry to bring you the bad news, but if the state just vanished tomorrow, I don't think it would help much with anything. I don't even think it would help that much if every single capitalist also just suddenly vanished either. All that would be left is a power vacuum ready to be filled by the next aspiring fascist. You see, and I already know you're aware of this, that before we can live in a libertarian socialist utopia, we need to prepare that utopia. So today, let us look about what strategies you as a beginning organizer should employ to make our dream come true. What must be done before capitalism can end? Before we look at step 1, let us think a little bit about one of our main goals. Before a fundamental systemic change where we enter into a libertarian socialist council-based society, we need a few things in place first. People need experience with horizontal organizing. Right now, people are used to taking orders, and they don't have the information, the time, or the confidence to participate in organizing society at an equal level with other people. This must be changed if we expect a systemic change to be somewhat smooth. The capitalists are not going to give us power for free. We must take it. It can't be possible to stop us, because then they will. Thus, we need support from the parts of the working class that has the largest potential to force changes. A very good example of this is transportation workers. You can't really do anything without them, and replacing them with strike breakers isn't that easy, since, you know, you don't want people that can't fly a plane to fly a plane. At least a few of the institutions that we're going to use to organize society must be prepared at some level. Otherwise, the state can't be replaced with anything. That won't be good. This one is obvious, isn't it? And of course, we need support from a large majority of the population, and they need to be prepared to make such a change. A successful movement should be helping us attain these goals as much as possible. That will increase the likelihood that we can achieve anything big. Getting a vision. Preparing the revolution requires us to do a lot of practical and proactive work. Hey, we're going to replace our entire form of social organization? What did you expect? Yet, some revolutionary movements seem to be more or less only focused on the idea of tearing down the system, which, to be fair, is on my to-do list, but if the focus of ours becomes more or less exclusively that, I think that has a few really negative consequences for us. One thing is that we simply won't be taken seriously. You know, you can criticize capitalism all you want, and the critique itself can be super convincing, but that does not make people ready to go to the barricades. When you ask an anti-capitalist, "Hey, what do you want then?" the response shouldn't simply be fully automated space gay luxury communism. Nah, we need to get more concrete than that. Another thing is simply that without a somewhat concrete vision for what can be done after, you know, the state doesn't exist, we can't do shit. I mean, fuck the state and all, but if it's abolished and not replaced with some structure, we get the kind of anarchy that they expect. So, I guess the takeaway from this part is that you and your revolutionary group should sit down and actually think, what do we support? If the revolution happened here, what would we actually do? Of course, that's a plan that can't be followed slavishly, but having a vision gives us something to work from. Proactive and reactive direct action. Direct action can be divided up into two main groups according to my new groundbreaking theory. proactive direct action and reactive direct action. Proactive direct actions build something. Examples can be everything from starting schools and organizing neighborhood councils to eating plant-based or inventing some new revolutionary technology. Reactive direct actions are, as the name might possibly suggest, reactions to something. It can be counter demonstrations, sabotage when the government builds another fucking road that nobody fucking wants, or sometimes it can be seemingly proactive stuff, but done as a reaction to something stupid, like H-Bomber Guy's charity stream for mermaids. I think any aspiring revolutionary group should sit down, analyze their environment, and see what kinds of direct actions makes the most sense to do at the current moment. And that's going to vary a lot, but I think that everyone should aspire to, as early as possible, find out one tactical, proactive direct action that one can stick to. Why, you might ask? You didn't? Well, I did. Reactive direct actions are dependent on someone else doing something stupid. Although the world is fucked up and reactionaries do a lot of weird shit all the time, locally you won't always have something to react to. If your group centers its activity around what everyone else is doing, you might run out of stuff to do after some time. Then, your regular meetings suddenly stop feeling rewarding and people stop showing up. And your organization might stagnate because people lose interest. Also, a lot of the time, reactive direct actions are tiresome. You'll constantly need to react fast, keep track of everyone around you, and if the people you're reacting to are dangerous, you might even feel unsafe constantly. Now, reactive direct actions do have some advantages when you win. Then, your group becomes the heroes that save the day in someone's eyes, and these kind of actions often attract media attention, and that can give you new members, sometimes fast. Then, the hard work is worth it and you feel like you achieved something. On the other hand, when you lose, which a small group consisting of inexperienced, newly radicalized people probably will do most of the time, it's going to feel like it's not worth it. In my opinion, I think every group should have at least one proactive project that does not depend on someone else doing something lame. This should also, if possible, be a rewarding project for those involved. That ensures that the activism gives something back to the activists immediately, and at the same time you get something to talk about at most of your meetings, most likely. A project like that can increase the likelihood that people stay active and show up. It can kind of function as the group's baseline level of activity, and in periods when someone else is doing something lame, that comes on top if you have the resources for it. Examples of projects like this could be producing something together combined with social activity, like writing pamphlets together combined with a healthy dinner cooked together or in rotation between the writing sessions. Or organizing things like really free markets. Or you can go far down into the creative path, maybe create some art together or do something that I can come up with as an example here. Really, a lot of stuff works. Even non-visible actions that don't tear down capitalism alone at all can be good stuff to start out with. Carpooling to work or simply sharing stuff you own can be good starts, although we often don't think about them as political activism. You just need to be clear that it can't stop there. Your more long-term goal should be to take initiatives that change people's lives, can live on their own, and prepares to change. Oh. That can be workplaces, council-based organizations, or anything else that you can imagine that helps us prepare for the systemic change. Or prefiguration, as someone would call it. Effective direct democracy. Direct democracy, or representative democracy for that matter, is hard to make function well. one thing is being direct democratic on paper, but often, even if you vote on everything, and everything always is up for discussion, a few individuals possessing a lot of knowledge, confidence, and experience about anarchy will often in practice control everything. Not because they are evil, aspiring dictators, but simply because many people don't feel like they can participate at the same level, and thus conclude that they are better off just listening to the arguments that other people present. This is a big challenge that you need to overcome, and waiting until it gets better is probably only going to make it worse. The best way to handle this is to make the organization a learning space for new aspiring revolutionaries. So, the members, they need experience, confidence, and understanding of theory. The to-do list that follows is large, and there is no way a small number of people can do all of them immediately, so you just have to pick and choose a bit. There are a few things that everyone can and should do though, from the very start. At meetings, you should rotate the moderator, the note-taker, and other coordination roles you might need between a list of everyone that is willing to. It's nice, by the way, to give everyone a few meetings in a row with the role so that they can get a little used to it and learn if they make mistakes. 2 or 3 meetings in a row will work well. Meeting culture is also a topic in my next video, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss it. You should also spread activist experience. It should not be the same person that organizes the demonstrations every single time, or that holds public speeches every single time. The more this is rotated, the more people have experience with it, the more they can say at the meetings, and the more democratic the organization becomes. The same is true for theory. Now, I want to be clear that I do not think that this means that everyone should be forced to know Das Kapital by heart in German, but it does mean that everyone should know the argument for organizing in the way you choose to do. Everyone should be able to have a picture in their minds about why they're there. Members that simply found one of your speeches convincing but do not really know that much about why capitalism sucks, etc., cannot participate at an equal level compared to the rest. This doesn't have to mean study circles though. Not at all. This can be a regularly meeting at a place you like, maybe a local squad or a culture house or someone's place. Watch a few ContraPoints videos in a row over a vegan pizza and take discussion breaks. But if you are going to host a study circle, inclusion. Now, this is a huge topic, and I don't want to cover it completely on my own when I dig deeper into it later sometime, but now that we're talking about making direct democracy work, I can't simply neglect it. In my previous video, I talked about that when one recruits members, that should be done with a goal of achieving a diverse internal demographic in mind. But, of course, from day one, it is extremely important to make sure that everyone feels included and represented inside the organization. Let's be real, white men can be difficult to work with sometimes. We mansplain, we make racist and sexist assumptions, and it's naive to think that an anarchist persuasion is going to stop that. By the way, can I call myself a man now, or am I still a boy? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. You need an organizational culture where it's okay to point this out and where different genders and races can discuss this without others listening. Otherwise, you risk a toxic atmosphere where parts of your organizations do not feel either welcome, listened to, or whatever. Just be nice, please. More on that topic in a later video, really. I mean, I'm not gonna, If you liked the video, please click that subscribe button that's gonna show up here, because what you're watching now is my beautiful end screen that I'm going to invent. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna fucking shut up, okay? I'm done, okay? Thank you for watching.